Coronation Street looks set to plunge viewers into even darker territory as Theo Silverton's violent secrets threaten to erupt once again. With his fragile composure already cracking under the weight of guilt, Theo's simmering feud with Carl Webster is about to explode, and the fallout could be deadly. The drama reached a tense new level after last night's episode ended on a chilling cliffhanger. Unbeknownst to Theo, Carl overheard his private confession to the late Billy Mayhew, overhearing words that could destroy him forever. Billy's tragic death earlier this year still looms large over the cobbles. He was killed in a devastating multi-vehicle pileup while driving a minibus carrying wedding guests. As flames engulfed the wreckage, Billy found himself trapped inside, desperately fighting to escape. In a moment that continues to haunt viewers, Theo returned to the burning vehicle and reached Billy just as he finally managed to free himself from his seatbelt. But instead of saving him, Theo committed an unforgivable act. He calmly fastened Billy back into his seat and fled the scene, leaving him to die as the minibus exploded moments later. It was an act of cold calculation, and one that Theo has been desperately trying to bury ever since. Last night saw Theo alone in the funeral parlor, standing before Billy's coffin. Overcome with remorse, he finally allowed himself to confront what he'd done, whispering an apology and confessing his guilt. What Theo didn't realize was that Carl was nearby, silently listening to every word and storing the explosive truth away for later use. In tonight's episode, Weatherfield gathered to give Billy the send-off he deserved. Emotions ran high as friends and family said their final goodbyes, with Theo standing alongside his boyfriend Todd Crenshaw, attempting to appear the picture of grief-stricken support. But beneath the surface, Theo was unrevealing, especially once he realized Carl was also present. Carl made it clear that he held the upper hand, dropping subtle hints that he'd overheard Theo's confession. The message was unmistakable. Theo's darkest secret was no longer safe. For a brief moment, it appeared that Carl had completely outmaneuvered him. However, Carl's confidence proved short-lived. Later in the episode, the tables turned in spectacular fashion when Theo caught Carl committing a crime of his own. While details remained deliberately vague, Carl was seen meeting two shady associates in secret, a rendezvous that quickly spiraled into disaster when Theo witnessed Carl handing over drugs. Incredibly, Carl failed to notice he was being watched. Seizing his opportunity, Theo snapped a photo of the exchange, giving him powerful ammunition. When the two men later clashed once again, Theo revealed the incriminating image and issued a threat of his own, warning Carl to keep his distance or risk exposure. But Carl was far from intimidated. Refusing to back down, Carl reminded Theo that blackmail works both ways. He made it chillingly clear that if Theo went anywhere near Debbie Webster again, he wouldn't hesitate to tell Todd the horrifying truth about Billy's death. It was a calculated move, one that struck directly at Theo's greatest fear. Cornered and desperate to regain control, Theo lashed out with a final, terrifying warning. In a moment that sent shivers down viewers' spines, he told Carl that if he dared to reveal the truth to Todd, he'd end up in a coffin just like Billy. The threat was unmistakable and deeply disturbing. With both men now holding explosive secrets over each other, the situation has become a dangerous game of brinkmanship. Theo has already proven he's capable of the unthinkable, and his increasingly erratic behavior suggests he's losing what little restraint he has left. The question now is whether Carl will take Theo's warning seriously, or if his own criminal confidence will push him to call Theo's bluff. One wrong move could have fatal consequences, not just for them, but for Todd and anyone else caught in the crossfire. As Coronation Street hurtles towards another explosive chapter, viewers are left wondering, has Theo finally gone too far, or has he picked a fight with the wrong man? One thing is certain, Weatherfield is bracing itself for another devastating shock, and this feud is far from over.